CrossFit Sledgehammer.
Yes.
And that was also the first time I met Rue.
Yeah, that's where we met, and then we started to train and create good relationship with each other.
I'm trying to keep up and I'm trying to like beat him, but it's a healthy way of thinking. It's a healthy, positive way of competing. It's not this ugly way.
And then coming to the competitive aspect is, that's what makes competition quite fun, is there's a level of everybody's training, everybody's doing their own thing, everyone's doing their best to try be the best. I look at it, it's a beautiful thing having that competitive nature of like, okay, we're doing the same thing, we're neck and neck. Does he want it more than me?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna push harder because I want to take this first place more than him?
Sleeping is a massive one, because if you're not giving your body time to recover so that you can do it all over again the next day, someone that is taking their recovery properly and is getting the right amount of rest and all of that, they're going to outperform you any day. Like if you're going to try and aim to be best at something, it's going to be a bit more sacrifice.
Welcome to Navigating the 20s. You are with me, Zinhle, and in this episode, I'm really excited to welcome two people who really introduced me to the world of fitness as far as CrossFit is related. But don't worry, if you're not a CrossFit fanatic, that's not where the conversation leads. It involves everything else. We speak about health, discipline, being consistent, relationships, and community. I am joined by two wonderful guests who really introduced me to the world of fitness. I'm speaking about Ruan Potgieter and Josh Kernot. So if you want to hear about our conversation when we speak about their ability to compete professionally and their role, you know, literally starting from being rugby players all the way to competing professionally in the world of CrossFit, this conversation is for you. So join us on Navigating the 20s. So, Josh, Ruan, welcome to Navigating the 20s. For a lot of our community, some people are really interested in CrossFit. So I think it might be worthwhile for you guys to like talk me through your own personal journeys. How did you get into CrossFit? What was it about CrossFit that made you so keen to start training and to be where you are today? So let me start with you, Josh.
With me, just to give my own personal background, after high school, I suppose, I guess it kind of leads into the theme, navigating the 20s, you know, you don't really know, like after school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Oh my goodness, like there's this big wide world, what am I going to do? It's so scary. So I went overseas to the UK and I was actually teaching and working in England there. And while I was there, I had a mate that I played rugby with, and he kind of introduced me to this like whole CrossFit thing, like, well, like something about CrossFit, and it's like, okay, what's this about? And I remember kind of doing like a bit of a CrossFit workout with him, and you know, it's like really, really tough. Anyways, like fast forwarding, when I came back to South Africa, my cousin, Matt Tarr, he owns CrossFit Kempton. I went to him because now I've heard of what CrossFit is, and he's doing this like, you know, CrossFit thing. He owns CrossFit Kempton. Cool. Like I'm this big, strong rugby player. Like, like I can do anything, you know. So I went to his gym and I did a CrossFit class with him. Very, very cool. Like people are very, very friendly. You walk in and, oh, how's it going? I'm Gerard, whoever. Yeah. And I still remember to this day doing this workout. Had like rowing and these things called thrusters where you have the barbell and you sit it here in that front rack and squat down, press up, squat down, press up. And I just remember like dying.
Takes your breath away.
And I was like, how is this possible, bro? Like I run on the rugby field, I do like heavy weights, and I was dead. And I just remember thinking, bro, this is the stupidest thing ever.
That's everyone's first reaction. This is
literally
cool, no, this is dumb.
I'm not going back to CrossFit. Like that's so stupid. And then like a couple of days later, I think it kind of crept back to me. And then because I think it gets in your mind, you know, kind of like, bro, like, oh, I could have done that workout better. And oh wait, there's a different class with different things. I went to this gym that we both first started at, Ru and me.
Yeah.
And that was called CrossFit Sledgehammer.
Yes.
And that was also the first time I met Ru.
Yeah, that's where we met, and then we started to train and create good relationship with each other. Was at that little gym.
But I mean, well, and then I'll go into that a little bit later. But that's basically me.
Mine's very, very, very similar. Also started with like school rugby background, and then kind of like grade 8, we had our first team rugby coach open up a little gym. It wasn't really a CrossFit type gym. It's just like a standard gym with some equipment and machines in there. But he introduced us into CrossFit videos, and like my first introduction was looking at one of the goats, Rich Froning, compete and do that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to do that. So I didn't get introduced with a workout because I think maybe then I wouldn't have joined. I just got like intrigued, like looking at the videos and that looks cool. Like I want to try to do this. And then from there, he just used it to get the rugby guys fit. And then when he left to go to Cape Town in grade 10, I just kind of like, the gym was there. Nobody was using it. I just kind of continued training what I thought CrossFit was, like doing weird and stupid, crazy stuff. And then eventually like learning more, watching more videos, do your own thing.
And picking up on that point, like I think a big element of CrossFit is like around community. So like for people who are intimidated by CrossFit or don't really believe in the motto and would rather be at the gym doing bicep curls by themselves, what would you say to them? Like, what is so enticing about being part of a CrossFit community? And for you guys, like what keeps it competitive? What keeps you coming back?
You know, like, because that's exactly it, hey? It's the community. Like when I first walked into CrossFit Sledgehammer and I met Ru, I mean, like, and we've been best mates ever since. When was that? Like,
I think that was like 2015, end of 2015, November.
So it's like 8
years
ago, you know? And it's, and then again, like all the members and the guys that are in the gym as well, you become so friendly with one another. And I think it's because of the simple reason that it doesn't matter how, you know, big, small, fit, unfit, you know, good looking, if that's what you're it doesn't matter who you are. You all busting your ass off doing the same workout. Guys, this is the workout today. Here are strength pieces, flexibility, whatever it is. And you all do the same thing.
And I must say, like, I'm actually curious to know what brought you guys to then decide to start training people, because I met both of you as my trainers at CrossFit 360, and I must say, like, the gears that you guys bring, the motivation, like people can see that you're very passionate about CrossFit. So it's not like you go there and it's just another job. Like you can see the energy, the passion, and that just makes the workout worth it. So like, did you guys always know you'd end up becoming trainers? And like, is that what do you guys do full time? Is this what you do like all the time?
I don't know. For me, it was at the beginning was not at all. I've always enjoyed it's actually funny. I did not enjoy being active at all. When I was younger, I was like the classic couch potato. I watched TV the whole day. I did nothing.
Really?
In primary school, there was no sports. There was nothing. In high school, my dad said, you're doing something. I don't care what you do, you're doing something. And then actually from starting to participate in sports and stuff like that, I got into being active. And then when CrossFit came in, I just loved it so much. I wanted to learn more and grow more. And then having a freaking best mate like Josh do it together. There's like something that gets created, like, okay, I want to push more and I want to see where we can go. You stay accountable, having a friend there do this. Okay, I want to try to do that. And you do that. Okay, he wants it. So it's like the excitement. I think we're very similar, like personality wise, and that also just helps bring excitement to do this. I never thought I'd be a coach. First off, I actually studied to be an architect for 7 years. I did my degree, my honors, and my master's in architecture. But it was roughly at the time when I started CrossFit at a box with Josh. The next year, I was like, I'm going to finish my degree so I have it. But I definitely want to go into the CrossFit space, whether it's just as an athlete eventually, hopefully, or as a coach. I want to pursue this more. So it was actually through class sessions, through training sessions with my friend that oh no, I want to do this now.
And let me just pick on that. Like a lot of people, you study something and then you realize like it's not a fit. Did you struggle with the idea that, okay, I've got this master's degree now in architecture and I'm not going to follow this path. I'm now going to go into sports. Was there a stigma? Did you find like when you maybe told Josh or your family that you got support, like it's cool, like we can see that your passion is in sports?
Very much, even Josh would say the same thing. And I want to speak for him, but if you love what you're doing, it's not going to feel like it's a big choice or a shift in what you're doing. So I think we really fell in love with the idea of what CrossFit, not just as the sport, but everything with it, like the community, the relationships, the adventures, going to competitions, meeting new people, all the opportunities it brings to you. Like you fall in love with that idea.
Yeah.
So it makes it so simple. Okay, I know I studied for this long, but I'm so much more passionate about this and I will put time and effort into this and I know it will work well.
Sure.
It's rather do that than what you do something else you're not passionate about. Like it's going to feel a struggle for the rest of your life. So
Exactly.
having Josh there and doing everything with Josh just made it that much more fun. I'm pursuing this 100%.
Sure. That's solid.
It is all like passion as well. Because Ru also finished your masters, because he finished his masters, and I remember he said to me, he had a chat with his dad that like, okay, bro, like I'm gonna take however long it was, a couple
I think
months.
he said like 6 months. If I don't get 5 clients or I don't get 3 to 6 clients within 6 months, then obviously this is not gonna it's not gonna work.
So I've got time, I'm gonna use this time for me to build on what I want to do. You know, like and I feel like, you know, just like, again, cause for me as well, like, because you don't really know like what you want to do, and you know, so you find something that, okay, I'm gonna put time and effort into this. This is what I want to do. And if it doesn't work out, like in Ru's case, okay, if it doesn't work out, cool, I've got this master's like architect's degree.
You have something to fall back on.
Go into that. But the thing is, like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you have a passion about, I honestly feel, if you put time and energy into that thing, it's going to work. You know, you're going to attract the right people or the right like assets into your life if you're doing something that you flippin' love and you enjoy. And I suppose a lot of people don't really know, like, because you do have people that where you're like, what do you want to do? And a lot of guys are like, bro, I don't know what I want to do. You know, you have to find what like makes you tick, what makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. That's what you need to do. So,
And with your own personal journey, like you took time, you went to Korea. What was that like navigating that period and eventually finding your way back to CrossFit in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, so like CrossFit's always been there in the, you know, like development stages of, you know, I suppose throughout my 20s and whatever. Because just for me, I suppose it's always been that exercise routine. I actually studied education, so I studied teaching.
Yes.
And also I had like some CrossFit going and like coaching and training and stuff like that throughout. And after that, I took my degree and I went overseas to Korea and go and teach there in Korea. I was also doing physical education. That was a really, really cool experience, just being in a different culture and a different environment. But again, coming back to CrossFit, cool, I want to do something physical, active. I went into a gym. This was actually really cool. And again, it goes back to community, right?
Yeah.
I messaged the local CrossFit gym, like where I was staying in Korea.
Yeah.
And everything's through a translating app.
Sure.
I mean, I can't speak Korean. The guys where I was situated is in kind of like a bit of an island. So most of the guys there like struggle with English, right? So using a translating app, hey, I really want to come to the gym. Is it cool? And the response I got from this guy, he basically said, I don't think you should come here. We can't speak English. You must go to the other gym down the road. That guy can speak English.
Hectic.
And for me, I was like, no, bro, I don't care. I just want to come and train. And
exactly.
It was the sickest experience ever going to that gym.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really speak. I didn't really speak amongst with the members there and stuff like that because I couldn't understand them. They couldn't understand me. But just going through that same class routine, workout. Then we slowly started to open up to each other. I learned how to speak a little bit of Korean from them. I tried to teach them a bit of English, and it just opened up this whole door and this whole avenue where I became really good friends with a few of the Korean guys in the gym there. They took me on experiences that a lot of foreigners don't really get that opportunity because you don't have that strong, I suppose, Korean friends to navigate you through the culture and experience there. So I was really blessed. And again, that's through CrossFit or like a fitness. You're part of a community, and that's something that's really awesome. Really amazing.
Like, look at it, like if you can go to anywhere, and we see it on YouTube everywhere, or CrossFit documentary, even now, a perfect example with Josh going overseas. With the routine or the kind of setup of a class being the same. Even though it's a different language and Josh can't speak it, what's on the board, if it says snatch, Josh knows what a snatch is. The other plywood this is, and then like the little acronyms we have, that's not a word, it's just letters, but obviously if we start to talk, we know exactly what it means, and if him and in the Korean, they know exactly what they're doing. So Josh might not have had to understand a single word when the guy's talking, but look on the board, oh, okay, this is what we're doing, laka, and then we can all do the same thing together. So CrossFit obviously helps with that as well. Yeah,
it's like you're speaking the same language technically, even though through movement. And speaking of those benefits, like touching on that point, you guys have like a beautiful bromance. Is it always competitive, or are you guys always friendly with each other? And on that, like when it comes to partners, do you train with your partner, like your fiance, or like do you find that even if you guys aren't training together, because you've got this bromance with Josh, you've got somebody close that you can be like, you can vent to, you can like de-stress with, and still have a good time whilst training?
Well, I think starting on the first part of the question, I think with me and Josh in the beginning, like because we're very similar, we've always been slightly competitive, but I always have a like nice distinction. You get an ugly competitive and you get a friendly or a healthy competitive. So we're always trying to beat each other or lift heavier than each other, or if he's going for a big lift, I'm not going to go like, I hope he misses or shit. Come on, Josh. Like it's very much like you want to uplift your friend and you want him to do well. Because then for me, I want to then do well to try to do the same that he did. So I don't think we've ever had, unless there's something you're not telling me. But I don't think from my side, from Josh's side, I don't think we've ever had a bad competitive experience with each other. Like we compete with each other. We've done team competition, me and Josh and the team from numerous comps. Just train together. We've trained together, team training all the time. It's always uplifting competitiveness, if that makes sense.
That's beautiful.
In terms of competition, if you want to look at it that way, because I always, and especially for something like this, navigating the 20s, it's, I suppose, cool. We're talking about fitness aspects and stuff, but I always try and think about the bigger picture as well, right? So in terms of like competition, if you want to take it to that approach, so now he's doing a faster time or a heavier lift or more rounds or whatever, that's going to push me. Now okay, that's the next thing. I need to push there. I'm going to work hard to try and get to that next point. And it's literally, that's why something like CrossFit, I feel, is so cool, because you're trying to strive for that competitive drive, but it also feeds into other facets of your life. Because if you, just for example, if you are, I don't know, you're trying to like make this career grow, you have an idea, cool, I want to start this thing, you know, like, again, going back to gym, no one's going to walk into a gym and just back squat like 200 kgs. Bro, you got to build up, you got to start somewhere. It's the same. I want to work on this project and feed this idea. I got to start somewhere and build up. And now the competitive nature, I'm not the only one that's doing it. There's like billions of people in the world here. Other people are doing it as well. I need to, stay on top of it. I need to drive. So that same like competition, cool, I'm trying to keep up and I'm trying to like beat him, but it's a healthy way of thinking. It's a healthy, positive way of competing. It's not this ugly way. So if I'm starting like a business or I have this idea, you bring in and feed in this positive competition of, okay, cool, I'm going to do better. I want
It's literally what he's saying. Like when we're doing CrossFit competitively, like you're grinding and you're having a hard time doing the workout.
Yeah.
But that aspect you bring into everyday life. Like you mentioned relationships. Like the workout was very hard, but I had to push to the end. If me and my current fiance now, soon to be wife, of we having a little bit of a tiff with each other. Like okay, we're going through it, but I know the end is gonna come, so I'm gonna work hard to make it work. Or we get through this argument, and then at the end of the day, we're happy together. So
not that the arguments not that it's like a competition.
No,
it's a workout. No, I gotta get through this, man.
It's just like that drive to get through the workout that also brings in like
it feeds you the same mentality
to everything else in your life. Yeah.
So what CrossFit teaches you, because we've seen it in the gym. You get a lot of people that come in, and especially girls. It's the main concern. I want to lose weight. And then we talk about the methodology of something like CrossFit and like how it's important to build up a skill and then build up the strength and then build up the power, the endurance, the gymnastics, all of that.
Yeah.
So now you are teaching someone like, let's just take, I don't know, Lucy. So Lucy walks in and now we're teaching Lucy, okay, Lucy, we're going to get you strong. We're going to get you fit. We're going to get you to perform skills and all of that. So it's something like that I think is very like gratifying, because you're learning how to do something very, very, I suppose,
very few people can do.
It's very cool. And all of a sudden Lucy realizes she's like competing with her friend in class. Again, healthy competition. Wow, she just did a back squat of 40 kgs. I want to get there. I want to back squat 40 kgs. I'm going to do 50 kgs. I want to beat that chick. You know? So, and then all of a sudden she's doing this, she's following the programming, she's doing her thing. And now also, what does she realize? Oh my goodness, I'm losing weight. My legs are looking more toned. It's the byproduct of that. So it's teaching you to like try and enjoy that process, go through that journey of what CrossFit's methodology is teaching you. And that stuff is the cherry on top. You know? Losing weight, looking good, that's the cherry on top. And also doing that stuff, doing the methodology and the process of CrossFit and the classes and all of that, that is literally building like consistency, and it's teaching you that, okay, cool, exactly, I'm not going to walk into a class and walk out looking like a supermodel. There's a lot of instant gratification in the world. But two things that I know very, very well, relationships and fitness, like in terms of your physical being, your mental being through fitness, that shit takes time.
And then it's so much more gratifying because you put so many hours and so many sessions and so much blood and sweat and tears into, maybe not blood, but like sweat and tears into achieving this goal. How much more gratifying is it going to be after time and time and time? I mean, like Josh says, also the relationship thing, it's the same. So I almost want to say, coming back to your second part of the question, how do we balance in our 20s doing CrossFit as competitively as we are, but also having a relationship? I think from my side, my fiance Jade is very supportive and understands, like, listen, I need to be in bed at a certain time because I have to wake up at a very early hour there to either coach or train or do what it is. And I feel that's similar for Josh. Like our significant others really understand. We have a really high expectation, a goal we want to get to. We need to work to that, and they're very supportive. I almost think Jade now, for instance, doesn't necessarily do CrossFit to a point that we do competitively, and it's almost in a way it's nice because I don't have to worry about it too much. I know, okay, this is my time, it's my space. But what makes it so nice is that she is so involved and so supportive, but she's happy to just go run and do her own thing, and I'll help here and there. But it's very nice, and it makes it easy to balance that the scale of having a relationship and doing this, and just finding the time to work to each other makes it easier.
That's so well put, because I often actually say, like, when I'm dating people, I'm like, the person has to be active, because if you date somebody who's like sedentary or marry somebody who doesn't value fitness, it's hard for them to understand, like, why are you waking up at 6? Oh, but you went to gym in the morning, why are you going again in the evening? So to have that continuous support, then at least it's not like a barrier. Because imagine like being in love with somebody who's like always questioning you, like, oh, but now you're going away to Egypt to go compete, like, what am I supposed to do while you're away? But if you have somebody who's rooting for you, who makes like, who checks in and actually cares, like, oh, you got a PB, I know what a PB means, even if they're not in that world.
It goes both ways, hey, like, as well. I mean, you have to have support for one another. Like, you have to, and again, that's why I say, like, a relationship is also a long thing, because there needs to be communication, there needs to be support both ways. It's a 50-50 thing. So as much interest as, you know, your spouse, partner, whatever, is taking interest in your goals, activities, you have to put it back in, because you can't give, I'm taking, thanks, and there's nothing going back. So that also there needs to be a two-way, you know, situation with that as well.
Reciprocity,
Like, I feel like also, like, the amount of that our both, like Josh's girlfriend Regan and my fiance Jade, how they support and how they do everything. Like, Jade is a teacher and going to new school. Like, the amount of time and that I've also helped her, like, cut out papers and do stuff. Like, it's almost, it seems silly, but like the physical time being put in, as much as the support, and like she's reminding me day in, day out, like, eat your meals. Okay, have you done this? Have you messaged your sponsors? Have you done this? Like, she's so invested to be able to also give her time at the end of the day and go do things for her. And you know what? It's so worth it, because I know the amount of effort that comes in. I want to give it back. It's not like like other things, like, oh, I have to do this. No, I want to do that for her, because of the amount of stuff that she or Regan does for Josh. It's just, it makes it so easy that the relationship works and you want to be there for each other.
Sure.
You know, going back to your question as well about the guy, like, you know, there's a guy, he wants to get in shape, all of that. Just going back to, just in terms of the relationship part of it as well. The other thing that's really easy, I suppose, it seems intimidating, CrossFit. I think even the name CrossFit. Oh, cool guy, I have to
people are stressed about it already.
But the relationship part of it as well, like going to a CrossFit class, you essentially almost in a way having like a personal trainer. I'm a guy that has no flipping clue of like what I'm doing. I don't even know what a back squat is. These guys are busy speaking about back squats. What the hell does that even mean? So you can walk into a class and a coach literally will tell you what to do and will show you what to do and listen, this is so you don't even need to think. You can walk in there and you're going to move. It doesn't
matter. We tell you what to do. It's not like you're going to Virgin, like, oh, what am I going to do?
Like, I suppose there isn't like a lot of community or support. If you, okay, cool, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go to Virgin Active, and a lot of guys sit there and they don't like really know what to do. And the coach is going to help you. They're going to help guide you. And what we've actually found a lot with guys that walk in and are very quiet and they're shy and whatever, they actually do like slowly come out of their shell,
open up,
because it builds confidence. It builds confidence in the fact that, bro, I can squat now. I can run. Now you go to work, dude, I can carry a bag of books up the stairs
with
and I don't get tired. And, you know, like it does definitely create confidence. And it's also with, again, any exercise, it gives off that dopamine, that endorphin boost. And those are happy, feel good
the serotonin that gets released in your brain after a training session. You feel great.
You feel the best.
I want you to go and bring someone to me who's just done a workout, a CrossFit workout, who has dopamine and endorphins pumping through their body and is feeling like overwhelmed and depressed and anxious. Not a chance.
It's hard to have both.
Not a chance. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel alive. Like, bro, I just did something with my body. I won't say it's easy to start, but like it's easier to start. Because of motivation.
Exactly.
Motivation dies very quickly.
You get always that New Year resolution, like January 1st, I'm going to get in the gym. January 4th, I am done.
You're already done.
You need discipline.
It's discipline that separates everyone from everyone that just talks. Discipline. When you don't want to, you go.
Discipline.
It doesn't have to be something like, you're doing something that sucks and you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's just having the discipline, okay, you know what? I said I'm going to train 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that 3 days a week. Even when you don't want to, sometimes let me just get into the gym. And at the end of the day, like Josh says, after training, you're going to feel good.
Yeah.
You're going to walk out and say, you know what? I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, so you need to focus on the things that you can control, right? I can't control what my asshole boss does. I can't control what's going to happen with the weather. I can't control like the inflation, but here I am sharing on social media. Oh my gosh, this is like load shedding, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting irritated, anxious, stressed. But the one thing that I can control is what I do with my fitness and what I do with my, it's flipping hard, but I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to go and be active.
And what Josh is saying, like bringing it back to CrossFit, coming into a CrossFit gym, you don't know what you're going to do. That hour that you're there is spent very efficiently than what you go to a gym and you're on your phone, you do a few reps and you sit and you're wasting time.
Yeah.
So like you get a lot of people that go to gym. Again, just don't want to touch on just the guys that know they're doing or don't, but generally you get a lot of people go to gym, they do their set and then they're on the phone, or they do their set and they don't know what to do. Oh, that guy's doing this. Okay, I'm just going to go do this because it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Whereas you come to the gym, it's very structured. We know what we're doing from start to finish. You've efficiently used an hour out of your day, because you generally don't need, for people that are just looking to be healthy, just looking to get a workout in and to do something physical, you only need 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, you don't need to be doing a 3-hour session.
You don't have to do a 3-hour session. Like in our case, it's different. We're trying to be athletes in the sport, so we're dedicating a lot more time. But for the general person that just wants to lose weight, who wants to look good, who wants to train and feels like he's accomplishing something.
Yeah.
A CrossFit class is 1 hour efficiently used and you walk away feeling you accomplished something. You enjoyed
mentally, physically, socially, you feel like a G. Like you feel really, really good. And
I'm going to come back, Josh, to you in terms of competing professionally. But from my take, I think one of the biggest benefits, which you guys both touched on, is before I used to be like a virgin active person, so that I didn't have structure. And also the weights section just used to be intimidating. So I'd go and pick up the weights, take them to like one of the room facilities and then train in there. And I post CrossFit because now I was like solid on my form, which like you said, you've got like a personal instructor, because you guys really focus on getting the form right. Then I could just pick up the weight to the weight section and do what I want. And then I started like cringing at what other people are doing. I'm like, that doesn't look right. So like it does give, so in my experience, it would be nice to have more women in the weight section. And I think most of them are intimidated by weights because of the whole bulking perception. And then it's also not knowing what to do. And like, because if you're a woman, most guys are going to go look. So you want to know when you pick up the set of weights, you know exactly what you're doing. But like tying in with the theme of discipline and competing professionally, for people who, let's say that I'm somebody who has been on this like training map, so I'm now looking to want to like compete professionally. Maybe I want to one day go to CrossFit Games. Where do I start? Like, I've got the discipline, the consistency. What differentiates you? Like, how do you guys get to the level that you are? How does one take that leap? Like, what's the missing?
I want to say, there's like in two minds about it. I can say that I can talk a lot. We're pretty sure we can talk the whole day about kind of what we've done and how far what we've done and stuff. But I think to make it like just short and sweet is that what I've gone through, both me and Josh, like 8 years of experience in trying to also navigate through the 20s, what works, what doesn't work, try this, try that, coaches, programs, whatever it is. But what I've come to now in the last 2 years that really has made the biggest difference in my training is train very efficiently. It's that old saying, train smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to if you're used to training 1 hour a day, you want to be competitive. It doesn't mean you have to now train 4 hours a day, just volume and volume. It doesn't necessarily have to just be volume.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing is specific stuff, small things that you weren't doing before, you're adding in now. It's literally just trying to be very specific and efficient with your training.
Yeah.
You need to work on weaknesses and just really stuff that you think of. Like we always joke and we always say, it's cool to do all these flashy stuff and do lots of this and lots of that. It looks really cool, but behind the scenes, like the stretching or the the 10-minute warm-up to make sure your body is ready to actually perform. It's small things that people don't post or don't see that actually makes a very big difference in what you do and how you do it.
Sure.
So it's that's from my side what I could quickly touch on, and I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it a lot more. But
I mean, at a competitive level as well, like if you want into, and again, competitive level can even mean, I really want to do well in this competition in this year, so I'm going to train towards that. The biggest thing that you have to do so like Ru said, the quality of your training needs to be there.
Yeah.
You know, you need to, the other thing you need to have recovery, right? And again, it's like Ru said, it's the boring stuff, you know, it's the stuff no one wants to do, but it gives you that competitive edge if you are stretching and mobilizing properly, because you put your body under stress and under a lot of tension when you train. Your muscles need to relax, they need to recover with stretching, mobility. And sleep is a huge one for me that not a lot of people touch on. Obviously, nutrition and eating the right stuff, you know, staying away from sugar, eating lots of protein, all of that kind of thing. That's going to help your body perform, and you fueling your body. But sleeping is a massive one, because if you're not giving your body time to recover so that you can do it all over again the next day, you're not training efficiently the next day. You're not putting the same amount of quality in the next day. Someone that is taking their recovery properly and is getting the right amount of rest and all of that, they're going to outperform you any day, because now that person's rested, they're fully recovered. Cool, I'm going to train and do the same thing they're doing tomorrow. But my level is only sitting at 60%. They're busy sitting at 80%. So if you build that up over time, you can see how that is just going to incline, and that level of performance
like
is
it's weird to talk about like just recovery. Okay, how do I just like you train to get stronger, training to get fitter, you're also training to recover better. Like eventually on a competitive level, you are eventually, like I don't want to say it's not just volume, but if you do look at how we train, it's at the end of the day, you take time. You do get to a point where your volume is quite high, but it's smart and efficient training. But you also then, like Josh says, you have to train to recover. You have to put time into stretch, and you have to put time into rest, and you have to make sure you get your minimum of get 8 hours of sleep. I feel sometimes it's difficult because, you know, for me personally, and I know Josh as well, we work quite a lot. Like I think compared to like people overseas, you know, like a lot of athletes overseas have that, I want to say, luxury that they get sponsored, and their sponsorships are working so well that they get paid full time that they can just be an athlete. Here, Africa-wise, we are working 7 hours a day, coaching 7, and then we still have to find time to do all the trainings.
It's discipline, you know, you have to know why you're doing this. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this?
There has to be a reason.
Because I want to be the best in this. I want to be really good in this. I want to work my way towards that. You know? And it's hard, like it is. It's really, really tough. But if you want it bad enough, you're going to do it. And if you didn't do it, then you didn't want it bad enough.
Exactly.
Then you didn't.
Your reason for why. You have to have, like, when I'm suffering in training or suffering in competition as well, like I always, in my head, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
And what is your why? Like what's pushing you through?
So me, plain and simple, like I want to be the next African representative to go to the CrossFit Games, like the highest level of competition we get in the sport, the CrossFit Games in America. I want to be the next African male to represent multiple years in a row. So I don't mind if I don't go next year. Okay, I got more stuff to work on. If I don't get because I do not want to get there and then just get there for 1 year and the next year I don't get there, or I don't want to just be there once and I got luck. I want to make sure when I get there, I deserve to be there, and I'm going to continue to be there. So my why, when I'm suffering or when we're going through bad times of workout, and trust me, the workouts are bad. Why are you doing this? Do you want it bad enough? Why? I'm going to go. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting so bad? Give up. No, I want to go through. So your why, if you cannot answer your why, your question why, in that worst moment in the workout when it's halfway or almost at the end, if you can't answer it then and there, your reason is not good enough to push yourself for.
It needs to be strong enough to carry you through, you know. And it can be I want to lose weight. Okay, oh flip, this sucks. Why am I here? Okay, cool. It's that getting through it. Cool. I know I'm here. Let's go. You know.
Do you guys have a mental tape that plays? Like, I know when I'm doing marathons, there's a part where you get to the 37 where you hit the wall. So like your body doesn't want to go, like your mind is saying no, but your body can still function. It's just your mind that's saying no. Yeah. So like what I do in marathons or like endurance sports, I would start imagining like hard things that I've had to encounter in life and then compare this moment and I'm like, no, it's not that hard, and then go. Or like you just have something that you've overcome then pushes you through. What do you guys use as a mental tape when you've hit the wall with something and you can't push to the next level?
Like I feel in comp, doesn't matter whether if you're doing a competition and like, here we go, here's the workout's going to start, 3, 2, 1, go, and you go, you've been training for this, okay, cool, you're going to push through. Like flip, I'm hurting right now, but the guy next to me is hurting just as much.
It's the same thing. I was going to say this. I wanted to almost Josh, let's say 3, 2, 1, we give the answer, because I was thinking my same thing.
Yeah.
You're stressed at a moment and this is hurting bad.
Yeah.
But I know the guys next to me are also hurting.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's it's a bit of an external answer or source, like intrinsic wise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like when you finish that workout, whenever you finish it, and if bro, I've pumped this thing as best as I can.
You
that
give it
feeling
your 100%.
you get it's insane. Like it's the rush that you get. I did this. I did as best as I can. People are cheering for you because they know you're pushing. They can see in your face that you're pushing. But you have to know, like deep inside, okay, I have to finish this. I've been training for this. I need to go give it my all. That feeling is. I suppose it's really tough to like explain to people. Like, bro, do it because it's gonna make you feel good, man.
Yeah,
it's hard, but
it's hard. It's the gratifying thing afterwards. Like, it also, like you're saying that what is going through your head, what you're saying. So it's, trust your training. It's almost like we always say, you gotta fall back on your training. And if you know that you've trained extremely hard to the best of your own individual capability, you can say, no, I put the time in. This hurts. It hurts everybody else, but I know. I can trust what I've done.
Yeah.
And then coming to the competitive aspect that's what makes competition quite fun. Is there's a level of everybody's training, everybody's doing their own thing, everyone's doing their best to try be the best.
Yeah.
But I look at it, it's a beautiful thing having that competitive nature of like, okay, we're doing the same thing, we're neck and neck. Does he want it more than me?
Yeah.
Or am I going to push harder because I want to take this first place more than him? It's like, there's a lot of things going through your head. Sometimes in the moment, like I tell Josh, and Josh will tell the same. It's a stupid thing.
Yeah.
I'd never even hear the music when we're training.
Yeah, because you're in the zone.
You're so in the zone trying to do it.
And take me through like diet as well. What do you guys do? Like if people are looking to compete professionally, what advice do you have around protein intake? Are you guys like smashing 6 eggs for breakfast? Like that's the misconception. How do you go about like creating a healthy diet routine to support your nutritional plans and your training?
Like for me, I feel I wouldn't really say I have a diet because I was chatting about it with a friend the other day, and you know what the thing is, like, because the world's become so normalized to eating crap and eating junk food and just going out and, like all of a sudden you eat normally.
Yeah.
And it's, you're dieting. No, bro, I'm just
not eating
normal
crap.
Yeah.
Normal food, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm staying away from sugar because I know that is like so bad for me. I'm trying to, eat a good amount of veg, a good amount of protein, carbs, bit of fats. That's like a normal balanced diet. I mean, you flip and learn it through school, bro.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh guys, remember you must eat healthy. This is what you need to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's not dieting. That's just eating
normally.
So like, so I think never mind the diet.
Yeah.
Like people can just try and eat normally, And again, like it's hard to, because it's like, sugar and all of those like sweetie things are very addictive.
Yeah.
But what I always try and tell guys is don't like go cold hard turkey because you know you're gonna give up in like 3-4 days, bro.
You're gonna miss that thing. It's gonna feel very easy for you. Like, I've been so good for 3 days, I haven't eaten anything. It's so easy to just quickly take something. I agree.
You don't need to cut it out completely. Like there's crap all around. You can't expect someone to walk into a shop and pretend that like the sweets aren't there, pretend the beer isn't there. You know? So the most important thing is to just eat like as normal as you can, and on the weekend have a beer, brew, have a donut.
I was about to ask you guys, like, how do you, when you friends come over, you have braais, and if you like in training mode, are you just like, okay, this weekend because I'm seeing friends, I can eat, have dessert, or are you guys always strict?
You need to set yourself like goals, small goals, so you know you have a competition coming up. Brew, okay, cool, I'm gonna set myself those goals and make myself accountable that I'm not going to eat nonsense up until that point. But then like let's just say that competition's like a month out or maybe a bit before. I'm gonna eat as healthy as I can.
It needs to be balanced and everything. Like to be the best everything, there isn't really balance. You need to put dedicated time to sleep. You can't do this, can't do that. But for majority of your life, there has to be balance. Time with your friends, time with your spouse, like time for you, for training. Everything has to be balanced, and it comes down to the diet as well. Like have something here. It's not going to be the end of the world. I think also there's a slight misconception about that as well. If people are so strict about having this diet that they're following and they go off the rails, and just the one Saturday they go and they have, oh no, I messed up, my calorie count's all over the place.
Like if you're gonna try and aim to be the best at something, it's going to be a bit more sacrifice.
You know what works for you, you know what doesn't. Josh knows what works for him and what doesn't, and I know what I can take and what I can't take. It's managing your expectations and managing what works with you.
And I think that's such a key point. Like you know your body, and I'm sure you guys also know your limits. Like other people always like testing, like, okay, I'm at 200, can I push it more? When do you know when to stop and to hold back and be like, okay, this is too much for my body, even though I want to be competitive, this is probably an unhealthy competitive. Like how do you guys test what your limits are, like what the boundaries? Can I go further? Can I push more?
I think almost like the way I would try to answer that is like we've been saying in the beginning of the podcast, is like we've been doing CrossFit now. Kind of when we started, it's almost immediately kind of went into competitiveness, because we have always had that from sports in school, have that competitive nature to want to do something well and want to better yourself. So we've been competitively from the get-go, kind of started training for 8 years now, and across that whole time span, every few months, every year, you learn something, you get a bit better, you see what you can't do. I mean, when you're training, you're always pushing, what can I do more, what can I do more? But it comes back down to as well, being specific and being very, efficient with your training. So you know, you're going to train for a certain period of time to reach this goal, you're going to push it, and you can push it, and once you reach this goal, okay, cool, and you got a next goal to go to, you can push it some more.
If both of you can give 2 solid pieces of advice that you guys have overcome, or something that you now wish somebody would have told you like earlier in your 20s that you can give to people in our community, what would you say? Like 2 fundamental pieces of advice. It can be CrossFit related, it can be personal life.
I suppose it helps that like I've always been active, but the thing is, you don't need to be active to be active. I think it's so important to be active, to feed into, again, I've said it a lot of times at the moment, but you need to be active to feed into other parts of your life. It sounds weird, but the consistency, the hormones feeding off of it, the discipline, the confidence you build, the social esteem that you get, all of that feeds into other areas of your life. So you have to be active. And again, it's hard. It is tough, but that's why it doesn't necessarily need to be. There was a good saying for CrossFit. CrossFit is for anyone, but not everyone. And, you know, if it's not for you, then don't do CrossFit, go and swim. If you don't want to swim, then go and walk. If you don't want to walk, then you have to do something, you know. It feeds you in the right way. That's the first thing I would say, is like, you have to be active. You have to have some sort of physical, you know, experience every day, or not every day, like minimum like 4 or 5 times a week, I'd say.
Yeah, I would touch on my first thing as well, just quickly jumping in with Josh's. My first point as well is, if you're young, you're like a teenager, you want to start doing something, and if we're talking about navigating 20s and slightly, it doesn't have to be CrossFit.
Yeah.
But I would definitely encourage, do something. If it's painting, if it's standing, doing something, if it's going swimming, you have to try to just do something that will get you motivated and disciplined to do the next thing, to do the next thing, to do the next thing. To be active, we're born and we are created to move and use our bodies. We're not born to sit and watch just TV the whole day. Like the gratification you get from, I said I wanted to do this, I've worked around it, I got it done. It's so healthy and so good for you. So just do something.
If you did that 10,000 years ago or whenever, bro, you were going to be chomped by a lion. You weren't going to eat your food that day. Like, you're not contributing to the tribe, you'd be kicked out, you know. We're physical beings. It's in our DNA. Like, we
have to move, you have to do something. Whatever that something is, up to you, but just do something that involves movement.
And for me, the second part that I think is really, really important, and this is such a good time, like through your 20s, from 20 to I'm 27 now, and I'm still doing new things and stuff. But it's exactly that. Like, do new things. Like, I used to be so scared of like trying this, trying that, because I was like, "Ish, this is gonna be like a bad financial decision, or like maybe this is gonna put a cutback on me or whatever." Bro, all those bad things, I can't even, well, not the bad things, but all of those supposedly bad financial decisions, it's all learning curves. It's so good to try things and do it and fail and do it and fail, you know. And I think that also, again, like it ties in, because you're gonna do like fitness and you're going to try and do this race and you're not going to get the time you want. You're going to fail. You're going to try and do this lift in the gym and you're going to fail it. And it teaches you, fail, get back up, fail, get back up. And it's the same thing with trying new things. Bro, you're going to fail. If you don't fail, you've done something wrong, or you haven't reached for a high enough goal or a high enough target. You have to try new things, you know. You need to, and it's again, like, if you look at a lot of successful people and whatnot, they get to a stage where they've developed this thing or they've done this thing, but now it's not enough. They need to go to the next goal. They need to aim for something higher. They're always trying and doing new things, you know. So that's what I would say. It's okay to fail. I would probably say you must fail.
Like, failure is good. Failure is growth.
100%.
I would say my second thing is make sure with whatever you do, try to, like for me, I want to say I'm blessed to have Josh in my life, and we started this CrossFit journey together, which brings to my answer to your question is, make sure you are surrounded by like-minded people. It doesn't have to be CrossFit, it can be whatever sport or whatever fitness or whatever it is you do, but make sure you try to get involved and surround yourself with like-minded people that want you to do better, that want you to succeed, that want you to do this, and you can do the same for them. Encouragement and having friends in whatever it is that you choose to do is so important and healthy for you to grow as a person as well. To be invested in that person's life and that person's goal and vice versa is one of the best things that has happened to me. Like, I would have never been where I am now if it wasn't for Josh pushing me and lifting the weights that he does, and I want to try be like him there. Or my fiance also, with her mentality, like try new things like Josh is saying, or do this, or ask and find out about people's lives, like get involved and invested with the people you surround yourself with. It just makes you grow as a person so much. So my point of advice is, if you don't have already, try to get involved and surround yourself with people like-minded, because there's nothing worse to try to do something and you're so excited about this event or that competition or something, and then the person next to you like, okay, cool, whatever, man, whatever that is. It's just demoralizing. So make sure you're with the person that wants to work hard, that wants to push you, that's calling you, hey, it's 4 a.m., why not open up? You know, you got a competition coming up, let's go train, you know? So surround yourself with like-minded people.
Sure, that's some good advice. So in closing, if people are trying to get hold of you, maybe they want to train with you or be trained by you, where can they find you?
So I am at a gym called CrossFit 360 Vita that is in Cedar Square, so the Fourways area. Yeah, very, I suppose, open, welcoming community. I'm there most of the time, so yeah, that's a good place to start, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you also train people one-on-one if
Yeah.
somebody's already with a club and a box rather, and they want to look for personal trainer.
So I do PT as well. We have like certain times that I can do PT at the gym. I also do one-on-one training at home. So if you have like a space that you want to use in the garage, the yard, wherever it is, I can come to your place and we do our stuff there as well.
Okay. We'll definitely share your details in the show notes for anyone that wants to train.
Yeah,
And
please,
Ruan?
same from my side. Like I'm basically most of my time full time at a fitness center called Wico Fitness. It's next to Witkoppen Road, close to the Douglasdale police station. I'm also a personal trainer, so I'm open to multiple times a day.
Fantastic. And I think that brings us to the end. I've thoroughly enjoyed this session with both of you guys. Like we went through diet, friendships, support systems. And I think you guys both emphasize like overall that it's about the community that you're with. So if you feel supported in the community, it helps drive the discipline. But inherently it's discipline and consistency that makes sure that a person actually excels in whatever they want to do, whether it's sports related or just in general in life. So thank you so much for coming along to Navigating the 20s.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us, Yazi.